Something saved me from a bear attack. I love the outdoors, especially the woods. Something about me being in tune with nature, something about being away from all the cars and noise and lights and pollution and people. It's just so refreshing, extremely refreshing. If you have ever been in the outdoors for enough time, however, you would know that it's not all sunshine and rainbows, you know? The same qualities that make it a good escape from reality come indeed with certain dangers and pitfalls. The first one would be the weather. If it pours or snows at home, then you can just sit inside and watch your favorite movie or your favorite TV show with your favorite snack in your hands. But if it pours or if it snows and you are caught outside miles away from any man-made structure, then it becomes a struggle for your survival. The second is the wildlife. Seeing elk, moose or bear in the wild can be a pretty awe-inspiring experience, but you must respect them from a safe distance or else they will screw you up. And that's exactly what I failed to do in my last camping trip. My girlfriend and I shared the same passion for nature, and we would often go camping together in the summer, just me and her with a truck, a tent, and some supplies. It was a yearly tradition for us. It was completely nice and it was really pleasant. It all started as a quick getaway into the mountains of northern Idaho. Despite official bear warnings in the area, we decided to set up camp about 40 yards away from a river, and we established our campsite without any further concern and without any major incident. Within a few hours, night fell and we found ourselves snuggled up next to each other in the tent. Honey, do you think there are any bears around here? I heard that they like pretty girls with tasty bodies like you. I teased my girlfriend, Rachel, and she slapped me, kindly of course, and jiggled back saying,
"Maybe, who knows? If they are, then I hope they like the spy."
I saw something in her hand. She rose it, and there was a cylinder of some sort, and I squinted and asked, "What's that, honey?"
Beer spray. If that doesn't work, I got it.
She said cheerfully, and she rustled for a moment in her sleeping bag and produced a handgun with a teal color frame, skillfully twirling it. And I chuckled and said, "Okay, Lara Croft, just don't mistake me for a bear when I come back from taking a piss outside."
Don't worry, I will.
She said jokingly. After that, I unzipped my sleeping bag. I grabbed a flashlight and I slowly stood up in the tent, being careful not to step on Rachel. The tent zipper was so loud in the quiet night that it sounded like a machine gun. As soon as I set foot outside and I put on my boots, I felt that feeling, the unquantifiable unease of being watched, like 1,000 pinpricks on the back of my neck. Trying my best to suppress it, I looked around the campsite for the best place to relieve myself. The starry night sky provided plenty of light, so that I could see at least the outline of every single tree and a shrub within a 100-yard radius. That's pretty much a stadium. Let's imagine it's 100 meters. My gaze landed on a patch of shrubs a few yards behind the truck, and I started towards it, but stopped when I heard what sounded like a puff of air. "Oh shit!" I thought. "Sounds like an animal's breathing." And I really should have asked Rachel for the bear spray before going outside. But I really needed to go. Like, really badly. I continued to creep forward, step by step. And I made sure to tiptoe and make as little sound as possible. As I made my way around the front of the truck, my breath stopped cold. Less than 40 yards away, an enormous grizzly bear was foraging through the shrubs, the silver patches of its fur illuminated by the moonlight. It was on all fours and had its back turned on to me. I held my breath and I slowly backed away. That was the standard protocol for encountering a bear. It worked. At least, supposedly, until my clumsy ass accidentally banged my metal flashlight into the metal body of my truck with a sharp clank. The bear instantly stiffened for a moment, then looked around, rotating its massive head to survey its surroundings. I stood stock still, refusing to even blink my eyes. And the bear started sniffing the air. I could see the black knob of a nose on its snout wiggle with every breath, spewing puffs of vapor in the cold night. Suddenly, it fixed its gaze in my direction. Then, it stood up on its hind legs, towering at least 8 feet tall, which is almost 2.5 meters. The bear let out a mighty roar before dropping on all fours and charging at me. Before I could blink, it was already on me. I tried to corner around the front of the truck as fast as I could, but the bear swiped with its left paw and caught my right shoulder, tearing my shirt open and knocking me against the grill. I barely stayed on my feet as it opened its jaws and rushed towards my face. All I could see was darkness, and all I could smell was rancid meat. Then it was gone. The bear had been knocked back in an awkward crook pose. 4 long, curved sabers had pierced its neck all the way through and dragged it away from me. The bear sputtered and hacked up blood as it struggled against its new assailant. And my eyes followed the sabers and registered that they were actually claws attached to a bony, pale hand with long, sickly fingers. The claws seemed to be part of the skeletal structure itself, instead of external growths of keratin like they were supposed to be. And just like the ones on the bear's paw, of course. The hand was attached to a long, skinny arm with muscles like steel cables, which was attached to a pale body with visibly outlined ribs. Atop the body was the head that looked like an elk's, except it was all wrong. The eyes faced forward and were much closer together, like a predator rather than a prey. The skull appeared to be a scalp of all skin and fur, revealing a surface of pink flesh and white bone. There were at least 50 points protruding from its wide, fossilized antlers. It was very big. And instead of the normal herbivore-style molars of an elk, this creature possessed multiple rows of long, sharp, serrated Tyrannosaurus-like teeth, which it brought to the bear and pierced the head of the poor grizzly. Its jaws opened much wider than any elk's should have been able to and wrap around the bear's skull before crunching it into a wet pop, like a person biting an apple. Blood and brain matter exploded everywhere, drenching me and my truck with warm, sticky, red gore. The grizzly bear spasmed, and then it went completely limp. The creature dropped its prey and leaned back, its prehistoric-looking antlers almost scraping the lowest branches of the towering pine tree behind it. Its sickly jaws opened and closed in rapid succession as puffs of air escaped from its maw in rapid huffs. It was laughing at me. And after a few seconds, it stopped. Then it looked straight at me, its hollow, empty eye sockets burning and boring into my eyes, devoid of all warmth, light or emotion, like two black notes in a void. It uttered in broken, distorted words, yet with a surprisingly humanoid voice. You beat yourself. Against all natural instincts, I dropped my gaze away from the monster to look at my pants. Sure enough, a dark stain had spread across the gray fabric of my sweatpants. I looked back, up in shock, to see the monster laughing again. Then it stopped. It picked up the bear's mutilated carcass in its claws. It turned around and dashed away. In the blink of an eye, it was gone. Aside from the blood splatters of the dead bear, there was no evidence of the creature's existence. It was hard to process. The mass of a 1,000-pound bear, brutally and swiftly slaughtered, then dragged away much faster than it should have been able to move. Oh my. Oh my. Oh my. Okay, I have to go get Rachel. I blinked my eyes a couple times to make sure I wasn't seeing things, and sure enough, I was still in the dark forest just outside the campsite, flashlight in hand, covered with blood and gore. And when I returned to the campsite, Rachel was standing outside the tent with her pistol in hand. She dropped it and ran over to me when she recognized me.
Nathan, are you okay?
She asked worriedly but relieved. Yeah, I guess. A bear attacked me. Her eyes widened with shock.
How bad is it?
She asked, gingerly wiping a spot of blood off my face with a paper napkin. Only a little, baby. Only a little, honey. Most of the blood that you see on me isn't mine, I replied, and she furrowed her brow with confusion and asked me,
What do you mean?
I would tell you, but you wouldn't believe me. I admitted. All I know is that we need to get the hell out of here ASAP.
Do you believe him now?
We spun around in shock, Rachel bringing her pistol to bear. I snap up my flashlight, frantically searching for the source of the creepy voice. The creature that had saved me from the bear was perched on the lower limbs of a tree, 5 yards away, and it seemed to grin at us with its jagged, blood-stained teeth. My heart was racing, but I quietly warned Rachel, "Honey, don't shoot. That thing saved me from the bear." Rachel's eyes were as wide as saucers, and she was trembling, but she heard me and lowered the gun to her side.
Do you believe him now?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, I believe him.
She whispered quietly.
Good,
Replied the creature as it dropped from the tree and ran out of sight again. Rachel and I don't really talk about it much. The incident replays itself in my dreams sometimes, and I remember that particular event just as vividly as the day it happened. I suppose I should be more thankful, since that thing did save my life from a bear. But every time I try to justify the creature as a hero, so to speak, in my mind, I always find myself returning to the notion that it only really cared about hunting the bear, and I was simply a bystander and a non-factor to it. That creature was something else. I've never seen anything like it in any biology textbook or field guide. Oh my god, this is just too much. This is too much. This is too much. Everything about it was just so uncanny and unnatural that it was completely disturbing. Every now and then, I'll hear its horrid laugh in the back of my mind, and the smell of the overpowering odor of rot and decay. A reminder of where we humans would really be on the food chain if not for our fancy tools, our weapons, and our infrastructure. I didn't manage to take any pictures of the creature, so the best I can do is a quick sketch.